YouTube, Biker Mike here, out in the shop. Gonna be changing the front differential oil on my 2009 Kodiak 450. So I thought I'd just make a little video here, show you guys how to do it if you've never done it. So you're gonna need a 5mm Allen key socket is the best way to go. That's for the drain plug, and the drain plugs, you shouldn't have to take the skid plate off, but you can if you want. I'm not going to. There is an access hole here for it, so I'm not sure if you can see up in there. But yeah, you can see the little Allen bolt right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and position the drain pan underneath here, and we'll crack that loose and see how she drains out. Lefty loosey. We'll see how this works. Hopefully it doesn't make a mess. And there she goes. Now, it does look like there's a little bit of metallic fuzz on the drain plug there, but not very much. So yeah, that's pretty good. Good on you, Yamaha, for designing that so you can just drain it out without even taking the skid plate off. Nice and clean, nice access right into the drain pan. Now this fluid, yeah, doesn't look the greatest, but it's definitely not that bad either, so good idea to change it out. I just bought this four-wheeler. It's got 4,700 kilometers on it. I actually picked it up at a dealership that was the original dealer that sold it, and just happened to belong to a elderly lady. So yeah, one of them stories that actually came true. It was actually owned by a 60-year-old lady who bought it brand new, so it's been very lightly used and not abused, and those are the kind of deals Biker Mike likes to find and jumps on the opportunity when it arises. So it just pays to look around, shop around for your used toys. This was pretty lucky of me to find this thing, and yeah, just a little story there on buying this quad. Okay, so I got the drain bolts over here at the workbench. Just got an old rag here. There's hardly anything on that, but I'm just gonna wipe it off. Now it looks like there's a copper crush ring on there to seal it, and it still looks like it's in good shape. It hasn't been flattened right out yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and reuse that. Once it's stopped draining, I'll put it back in. Okay, so while that's finishing draining, I thought I'd get at the fill plug and take it out. Now it's a 21mm socket to fit on there, and I just needed a little universal joint. I already broke it loose with my 1/2-inch ratchet, so I'm just going to take the fill plug out. It's located on the right side of the machine at the front, in case you're wondering. And I'll just run it over to the bench and clean it off too. Now there's a little aluminum crush washer on this one, and it looks like it's in good shape too, so I'll reuse that. And I'm just gonna wipe the dirt, carefully wipe the dirt around the hole here, and get it ready to refill. Okay, so to refill it, we're going to be using the Yamaha 80W90 gear oil. Now, this is also for the rear differentials that have the wet brake in it, but you can use it in both. I've already done the rear differential, so I'm going to do the front with what I have left over. The rear differential took about 600 milliliters of oil. So I bought this pump a while ago for filling the lower end on an outboard motor, and it's real handy to have to pump your gear oil into your differentials. I've used it on my truck, and it worked real great on the back of the quad to do the rear differential, and I'm going to use it on the front, and I'll show you how that works. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it just screws right onto the top of the bottle, and there's a tube that goes all the way down to the bottom, and you just pump it like a soap dispenser, and it fills up the rear differential real nice and easy with basically no mess. So I already have the drain plug reinstalled and tightened up nice and snug. You don't want to over tighten that, and if you want to check the torque spec, you'll have to check that in the manual. I don't know the exact torque on it. Just use my common sense and made sure it was nice and snug without over torquing it. So I'm just going to go ahead and refill the differential with that pump device on the bottle, and just keep an eye on it, and once it's full, it'll just start to drip out of that hole. So I'm just going to have to keep an eye on it, and it shouldn't take too much. I think they only take a couple hundred mils, but we'll see here in a minute. So I'm just pumping it right now and putting the fluid back in there. Can't really see it going through the tube, but it is going in. And I'm just adding it slowly so it doesn't overfill and all ooze out of there all at once, but we'll just see how much it takes. Okay, I just noticed it start to drip out. I'm just gonna pump a little bit more in there, and I think it's pretty good there. We'll just put a tiny little bit more in. Just don't want to make a mess, but I want to make sure there's enough in there. And I think that's gonna do it. Okay, now that I've got it filled up and it's just barely dripping out, I'm going to reinstall the fill plug with the aluminum crush washer on it. And same thing with that. I'm just going to snug it up nice and snug without over torquing it. Okay guys, so it did take roughly a couple hundred milliliters for the front differential. And basically this 1 liter was enough to do both the front and rear differential on my 2009 450 Kodiak. Now it does vary from year to year. I'm not sure which ones have different differentials, but for the 2009, that's how much I used, was less than 1 liter for both. And I'll show you how to do the rear differential. It's basically the exact same procedure, just different size fill and drain plugs, and you just have to pump more oil. And now it is also more important to do the rear differential because of the braking system that's in there. It's a good idea to change it a lot more often and keep it all nice and clean. There was quite a bit of crud in the rear differential and quite a bit on the magnet, so I'm glad I did that. I'm not sure if it was ever done, but that's why I did it. Like I said, I just bought the machine. It's got 4,700 kilometers on it, so I thought I'd just change out the front and rear differential oils, and I'm probably going to do a oil change on it too. So if you want to check out that video, be sure to check that out. And yeah, we'll go back around to the back of the quad and I'll just give you a little rundown on how to do the rear differential. Okay, so we're back here at the back of the 09 Kodiak 450 on the rear differential. This is the left side of the machine, so that's your fill plug right there, and your drain plug is, try and get some light down there, way down there at the bottom. So you do have to remove the skid plate, but it's real simple to remove. There's just 3 10mm bolts. There's one up at the front and 2 at the back, right there and there, and then you can get the skid plate out of the way. So by taking the skid plate out, it makes it a whole lot easier, and I really don't think you can change the rear diff without taking the skid plate off. So yeah, like I said before, this rear differential has a wet brake system in it, so that's why it's important to keep it changed. And like I said, there was a lot of crud on that bottom magnet there on the bottom drain plug, so just be sure to wipe that all off. And there's 2 O-rings on these plugs, 1 on each one, so it's a good idea to get some new ones. I didn't replace them, but next time I probably will. They were starting to look like they were a bit dried, but they were good enough to reuse this time, but next time I'll change them out. So just a little heads up there, if you're gonna do the rear differential, just grab the O-rings right from Yamaha so you have them. If you need them, they're there to use. So once again, guys, thanks again for watching my videos. I've got more Yamaha Kodiak videos, or Grizzly, same quad though, so keep an eye on my channel, hit that subscribe button. That's what's really going to help me out, guys. You know, I really appreciate each and every one of you that subscribe to my channel. I've got a lot of power sports stuff on it, and it's pretty much dedicated to power sports. And I do have some stuff on there for my truck and a couple other random things, but mainly it's all power sports stuff. So leave me a comment, let me know what you guys want to see in the future. I'm probably going to get some trail riding videos, some mud romp sessions, and you know the deal, just being a redneck, having fun on a quad, taking it easy. And thanks for watching. If you like my video, like the video. Biker Mike out.